Pull up a chair. This is the Pattaya Red Pill Report. Vincent van Gogh painted with the intensity of a man possessed, but during his lifetime, he only managed to sell a single painting. One, no validation, no recognition, nothing but rejection and loneliness. And that desperation ate him alive. Now, you might not be an artist slicing your ear off, but if you're a Western man with low self-esteem, you're walking the same path every time you come to Pattaya. That desperation for validation is why you're falling in love with freelancers, why you're blind to red flags, and why this city treats you like an ATM with a heartbeat. Because here's the truth. Limerence and the halo effect are just symptoms. The disease is low self-esteem. And if you don't fix that, it doesn't matter how many red pill videos you watch, you'll keep getting played. Section 1. What low self-esteem does to men. Low self-esteem is like a crack in the foundation. It makes the whole building unstable. Men who don't value themselves are starving for approval, desperate for anyone to tell them they're worth a damn. That's why a smile from a bar girl feels like love. That's why a good morning, darling text has you grinning like a schoolboy. That's why you misinterpret basic politeness as devotion. Studies show that people with low self-esteem overvalue small acts of kindness. In Pattaya, that's lethal. A girl pours you a drink with a smile. That's her job. But in your head, it's fate. She leans her head on your shoulder after you pay her bar fine, and you convince yourself she's falling for you. Here's the brutal truth. She isn't. You're not special. You're just easy prey. And every time you confuse survival tactics for romance, you're proving what she already knows. You don't value yourself, so you'll pay anything for the illusion that someone else does. If you're already squirming, good. Hit subscribe, hit like, and hit the support links below. Because if you can't even invest a beer's worth of cash into the truth, don't cry when a bar girl empties your life savings. How it creates simps. Low self-esteem doesn't just make you insecure, it rewires your entire operating system. Without self-worth, you start outsourcing your value to women. Every text, every smile, every scrap of attention becomes the drug you can't stop chasing. She texts you, "Good night," and you light up like a kid on Christmas. Reality check? She copy-pasted the same message to 6 other guys while you were grinning at your phone like an idiot. She calls you darling in a bar, and suddenly you're convinced you found the one. Newsflash. She calls 50 guys darling every night, and each of them thinks they're special. That's not romance, it's marketing. Western conditioning only fuels the sickness. You've been brainwashed with make her happy and she'll love you, be nice and she'll stay. But in Pattaya, that programming is a death sentence. Because low self-esteem plus that blue pill garbage equals one thing: simp behavior. And simp behavior is predictable. You start handing over money just to keep her smiling. You accept excuses you never tolerate back home. You bend your life around her drama. You become a man who would rather be lied to than be alone. Here's the ugly truth. Low self-esteem is the soil where simps grow. And in this city, simps don't just lose money. They lose years, pride, and sometimes their lives. The fallout in Pattaya. Here's what low self-esteem buys you in this city. Ruin. Men bankroll girlfriends they barely know. They send money for rent while she's still shaking her ass in the bar. They accept kids that aren't theirs and call it family. They ignore cheating because at least she comes back to me. That's not love. That's cowardice dressed up as devotion. I see it every week. Some guy at the end of the bar bragging about how his girl doesn't drink much or how she only works sometimes. Meanwhile, she's downing tequila shots with tourists while he waits at home, clinging to the one scrap of attentions she tosses his way. The fallout is brutal. Men sell houses back home, they drain pensions, they max out credit cards just to keep a girl around who never gave a damn about them. And when the money dries up, so does the love? Dark humor? You're not her partner. You're not her protector. You're not her future. You're a rehab program with a wallet. And when your funds run out, she'll relapse straight back into the life she was always in, because that's where she belongs. This is why low self-esteem kills men faster than alcohol or cigarettes in Pattaya. Because when you don't believe you're worth a damn, you'll pay any price to feel like you are. And in this city, there's always someone willing to collect. How to build real self-esteem. Here's the truth. You don't buy self-esteem, you build it, and if you don't build it, Pattaya will eat you alive. Stop comparing yourself to other men. The minute you measure your worth against another guy's money, looks, or girl, you've already lost. Set small, realistic goals and crush them. Hit the gym, learn Thai, stack cash. Every win, no matter how small, is another brick in your spine. Build discipline. Do what you say you'll do. Nothing rewires a weak man faster than keeping promises to himself. External path. Get good at something. Anything. Business, fitness, creativity, whatever. Van Gogh poured himself into painting. He died broke, but his work still echoes. That's power. Earn respect for competence, not cash. The man who commands respect doesn't need to beg for validation from a bar girl. In Pattaya terms, the man with options doesn't beg for scraps. He doesn't cling to the first freelancer who smiles at him. He doesn't mistake rented affection for real connections. Here's the brutal line. If your only value is how much money you can spend, you're not a man, you're a walking ATM. And out here, ATMs get emptied. Self-esteem isn't about feeling good, it's about becoming bulletproof. The stronger you are, the less her fake tears, her fake gratitude, or her fake "I miss you" can touch you. Without it, you'll always be a customer pretending you're a king. Reality check. Low self-esteem is the disease. Limerence and the halo effect, just the symptoms. And if you don't cure the disease, it doesn't matter how many red flags you memorize. You'll still throw your life away for a woman who never loved you. This city isn't dangerous because of the girls. It's dangerous because of you. Because weakness bleeds, because desperation stinks, because every time you walk into a bar hungry for validation, the wolves can smell it before you sit down. Strong men don't get wrecked by Pattaya. Weak men do. And if you keep letting low self-esteem steer your life, you're volunteering to be a casualty. The truth is simple. Fix your foundation, or you'll die in the rubble. You came here looking for love. What you'll find if you don't fix yourself first is bankruptcy, humiliation, and a girl who moves on before your plane ticket home even prints. If that truth burns, good. Let it burn. Fire is the only thing that forges steel. If you got value from this report, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. It tells the algorithm this kind of raw truth matters. And if you want to take it further, support the channel through Patreon, buy me a coffee, or memberships. It all keeps this thing alive. And to the guys already backing me, thank you. Because this isn't just content, it's survival. Out here, illusions will cost you your wallet, your time, and maybe your life. The truth sets you free. I'm Josh, and this was your Pattaya Red Pill Report. If the truth hurts, good. That means you're still alive. See you next round.